Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Charade Maniacs. We'll see how this turns out. I don't know, whatever. I kind of hope we're getting to the end here, because, like, I gotta be honest. I wanted to like Futami's route, and, like, it's got okay points, but I don't know if it's just because it makes no damn sense, or if it's because it was done way too early. Like, we hit it way too early where it ruins things. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. So, anyway, this should prove to be interesting getting in this battle with him, but I also don't know if I feel like at least in Iochi's route, I didn't, maybe because I like Iochi a lot, I don't know. I didn't feel like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, okay. But in Futami's route, it doesn't make sense. It's all of a sudden like we love him and he's crazy, but it's like, I mean, we've done routes like this in the past, and you fall in love instantly, and you're like, why are you in love with trash? That's could be said of all of us. Why are we in love with trash? That's not my problem. It's the fact that all of a sudden it was just like you start to fall for Futami because he's all nice and sweet, sure. And then all of a sudden he's like, no, I'm dark and evil, and I'm the sponsor. And you're like, well, he said he was the producer, and you're like, it's okay, I love you anyway. I mean, wait, what? Like, it just, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know, all the things I've complained about before. It just kind of bothers me, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of good points. There's a lot of things that could be really fun about this route, and I don't know if it's just the translation being kind of garbage in this route. Like, not the best. There's a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of things that I feel like they could have fixed the wording so it made more sense, maybe. But also, I don't know if the Futami magic switch like that was really like done well, but also if he's really the sponsor, which I mean, I feel like at this point they're not going to let it go. We're not going to find out he's not, but it kind of does ruin a lot of the game. So I don't know if it's just all of those things combined where I'm like, I can't appreciate the route for what it should be because the game mechanics and the fact that it came out this early. Like, I don't appreciate that. I don't think, and I don't know if I'm mad at myself or the game for like having it, the fact that you could find this out the first route, and that ruins a lot. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? So, I don't know. The end of the last part, we were having fun because we're like, yeah, we're gonna get into this battle, but like, the route's gonna be done soon, right? Because like, I'm over it, and I, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if this were done later, if we had hit it in one of the later routes, I think I would have been a little more receptive to it. There would have been problems with the translations and the typing and Tim being awful, but like I don't think I would have been as mad about it because I would have been like, okay, that stuff sucks and sure, but and maybe the whole why do we love him if he's it doesn't really make sense, but whatevs. I can look past that if I wasn't so annoyed about the fact that this ruins a huge portion of the game like this early, and I don't know that. But again, that's more the game's fault, where it's like super spoilery if you look up a route order, but if you don't, you're going to ruin the game for yourself. So like pick a fucking way you want to ruin the game. You want to know the answers right off the bat, or you want to get the answers right off the bat and the order's out and everything's weird and it takes half the fun out of it. Like, I just, anyway. We should have some fun battling, and we're gonna win, but whatever. Spotlights appeared and shone on Futami and me. It's gonna be that, like, he's about to win, but then he just can't do it, and then we win. You know what I mean? Maybe. That's what I would expect here. Next to us was a display that gave a real-time count of the votes. And now we're about to start the match. The match will be a debate. Is there a debate topic? It'll be about how wonderful Arcadia is. Isn't that right? Right. We talked about it so much, yet you don't seem to understand one bit. I'll explain it to you again. It's interesting that it's a debate and my fucking volume just, like, cranked and blasted in my ear. And we decided we're gonna debate what... Girl, you better have a plan. I think you have a plan, because this is a bad idea. Futami's tone was gentle and kind, yet it was firm. It was the usual Futami. I always believed in Futami when he talked like that. This world is a utopia created for the Arcadians who live here. Everyone lives a fair life and there's enjoyment every day. There's the other world's stream after all. The number 21 showed up on the screen. It was under Futami's name, so there was no doubt that they were votes for him. Arcadia doesn't experience misfortune. No single person here is forced to bear the burden of an unfair life. That's why no one fights with each other. No one's ostracized. No one's singled out or looked down upon, right? And yet, we're forced to fight to our lives and be injured for their entertainment. And you were ostracized, weren't you? So, bullshit! I object! Where's my truth bullets? This is like the Danganronpa trials, right? I waited for a little bit before answering that. Is that really true? If they truly don't fight amongst each other, then would they prefer dramas with such extreme content? Maybe we just haven't noticed them fighting. Maybe we've only assumed that this world is peaceful and fair. Although slight, I got a few points. It was only 2. Upon seeing that, Futami's expression slightly changed. Futami, does this world you talk about include the cast members who appear in the Otherworld stream? We wake up here unable to return, and we're forced to act in dramas. Hold on. I wanted to fix my volume again. That's something that I hate. Wouldn't that count as misfortune? Why do you pretend not to see that? And it just so happens you don't fit into this world. I've never felt unhappy here. But I exist here too. When I get hurt in dramas, I feel pain, and I definitely don't want to see any cast members dying. My points didn't go up or down. It seemed that my statement didn't mean anything to the Arcadians. It can't be helped. We're human. The Arcadians are different life forms. Arcadians don't understand pain. Humans are the outsiders here. You can't get used to their rules, then leave, whether that's through a dead end or by returning. Only Futami's points went up. Then you're the one ostracizing us. Futami didn't say anything to my whisper. I had 2 points, while Futami had 61 points. I verified it before changing the subject. You're gonna have to pull this out. I don't know why you're trying to, you'd think that if you were like, the Arcadians are awful, they're gonna be like, yeah, that sounds good. She's gotta have a plan here. And obviously, her plan is trying to convince Futami, but, was this, I gotta trust, but. And instead of the other world, let's talk about the producer. Very well. They're the person who created this world. Is there anyone who wouldn't be hurt by being lied to? By being tricked? What about having to fight and have things taken away? Futami, I lied to you for the first time so that I could take your points. I said that I'd continue to love you no matter how much you lied to me. Yet, you felt hurt when I lied, right? That's why you said you don't need me anymore. Yeah, I'll admit that. I thought it'd be fine no matter what anyone said to me. And that wasn't the case. So what? I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? You're the one who decided to fight this out. Right. I shouldn't have hurt someone I love like this. If I truly cherish someone, then I'd want that person to smile all the time. I wouldn't want them to be hurt or fall into misfortune, nor would I want them to throw their life away. You shouldn't. This is why you brought up the producer. Yes. If the producer's the god that reached out to you so that you may live, why would that god let you do something so dangerous? Why won't your god stop you from betting your life? Because they don't need to stop me. I was the one who wanted this. I'm prepared to give my life to my god, but that's out of my own will. The person gave me this ideal world and guided me. If I can give something back to that person, I don't care if I die. The other sponsors and Arcadians should feel the same way. We've all been given something that's worth it. See, he says the other sponsors. It makes it sound like there might be another sponsor here, and I really hope that's the case, because then it would be better. And I know he's probably supposed to be saying it as the other sponsors, people who have sponsored previously, right? But then that means the producer is always the same person. And if the producer is always the same person, how does nobody recognize them when they've come back? I was again, Ibana's back again. We know that. I'm pretty sure that's obvious at this point. So, you know what I mean? But unless they're not really a real person and they're an Arcadian and they're changing their appearance so they look different each time, that would be interesting, but whatever. But the way you say other sponsors, do you mean, but again, that it's confusing because it's like other sponsors as in, oh, in the past stream, there was a different person that was the sponsor. Okay. But is it always the same producer? Because again, that leaves that loophole of like, how does no one recognize this person? And if everyone in the last stream reached or well, not the last one, but at a prior one, right? Before they changed the rules, everyone hit a dead end. Sure, the sponsors would be willing to give their lives and be like, cool, I'll hit a dead end to fuck with people. Futami absolutely is proof of that. So we can take that as other sponsors are just as crazy. And when you're getting down to the wire and there's only a couple people left, you know, in order to push people over the edge, you would reach your own dead end knowing that it would push people because that's your job. That's the role you think you have. Cool. Fine. Kind of like he pushed Akase, right? You know? But why would the producer do that? That seems weird. And then that means it's a different producer each time. And then how does a person come to you and are like, hey, I'm going to be great. And then you automatically are a fanatic over them. It seems like it's something that should be built over time. But then again, well, okay, I guess not, because there's tons of people. Look at incels. They're a perfect example. I'm just a lonely incel. And some douche is over there like, I say something stupid. And then they instantly fawn over, I guess, the lack of intelligence. But you're trying to tell me Futami has, like, no intelligence at all, that he would just easily fall for someone's bullshit like this? I mean, I guess it's not, in Futami's case, that he's an idiot. It's more that he's got all these negative thoughts and stuff and the trauma of being ostracized built up in his whole life that it's very easy for someone to just come in and be like, oh, you'll never have to be ostracized again. And I would believe if Haiji is the producer and he's his brother, that would be very easy to manipulate him. So, okay, easily manipulated. However, if that's because you have a lot of trauma that people are manipulating, or you're a fucking idiot, okay? But, like, you gotta be really good to convince someone, like, 5 seconds after you meet them to sponsor another world stream or whatever. Unless, like, Futami here's trying to lure us in to the web, and he's like, but we're a little naive, right? And, oh, we're young, impressionable, seriously, because she's in love with him, and I don't really think there's a reason for it in this case. In other times we do routes, and it's like, well, we fell in love with them instantly, whatever. But this time, it's like, there's a lot of red flags here, and it's concerning. You know? But if he's thinking like, oh, okay, she's young, I can manipulate her. Oh, she fell for me. Cool. Trying to seduce her into falling for me so that she becomes a sponsor. Okay. Sure. But then you're gonna die, and then my whole reason for being was you and not the fanatic of anybody. You know, I mean, anyway, maybe I'm overthinking it, but the whole tangent was him being like other sponsors. Again, are you talking about ones in past streams? I feel like that's what they're trying to tell us. But I'm curious if you mean other sponsors as in just in the past in general and other people that might be here, because here's the thing. I'm still annoyed that you're the sponsor and we found this out right off the fucking bat, because again, it ruins a lot of the fun of the game. It takes a lot away. All right? And I'm not really sure why there's 3 locked routes when only one of them's important now and the other 2 is like, well, nothing. Sure, you're probably going to have reveals that are like, oh, okay, but it's still not going to be as good as, yes, producer and sponsor. You know what I mean? And again, if we did this in the right order and Futami was very late in, finding out that he's the sponsor later in would be like, okay, wasn't seeing that coming, cool. All right, wait. It kind of sets you up and you're a little more excited about things. As opposed to now you're like, what the fuck? What do I have to, like, what the shit? If there's another sponsor, though, I'll forgive the game for giving us this right off the fucking bat, letting us find Futami possibly in the first route. Hi, this is only slightly better than if we had done Futami accidentally the first route. Okay? This is like 0.5% better, but not much. It's just as fucking stupid. If there's another sponsor, though, that does make it different, because you're like, this is fucking stupid. I found this out right off the bat, and this is every thought that I've spewed out about this. Then later on, all of a sudden, there's another sponsor, and you're like, wait, what? Okay. I wouldn't be as mad about this. Because then it's like, they bamboozled you. Like, oh, see? You thought you had it figured out, but really Futami was a sponsor. And then later they're like, actually, Kyobu's also a sponsor because I still sus of him. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? That could be interesting. You know, it's kind of like, Iochi as a partner. But I have a feeling it's not going to... That I would be okay with. I would still be mad. I'm still going to be mad about this until we get to that point, and then I'll be like, all right, I forgive you, game. Fine. If that's not the case, though, then it's like you've got this gloomy cloud over the whole game of like, well, we already... I mean, sure, but like half the fun is gone. Like, I don't know, you know? So... I have a feeling that though that they're not that ballsy because they didn't have the balls to make me the producer secretly where I'm like, I got rid of my memories so I wouldn't know. That would have been great. I would say I don't think anyone would see that coming, but I thought of it, so I guess. But still, if they did that, I would have been like, I said it, but I didn't think they'd do it because they don't have the balls to do that. So they definitely don't have. I don't think they're gonna have the balls to have a secret second producer. You know what I mean? Where that would actually make sense because Futami's hanging around, Kyobu's doing stuff, and then Kyobu's hanging around, Futami's up doing stuff. Where like, you know what I mean? But why would they both be on the same team? Actually, that would be brilliant in writing because the teams were supposed to be quote unquote like accidental, like just random, right? But it would have been funnier that they're both on the same team, but because you would think as a person playing this, they would never put two sponsors or the sponsor and the producer in the same team. But then they had two sponsors and both were on the same team. And that's like, oh, you were doing some shit there. You know what I mean? And you find Futami's around. You're like, okay. And then you find out there's another one. And then you're like, ooh, wait a minute. Like, I don't know. That would actually make it better. I just don't think they're going to do that because, I don't think they put a lot of thought. They came up with a great concept for the game, but I don't think they put too much thought into how this should flow by letting you do random routes and things come and like not sticking to kind of like a set, like first three characters are open. Once you clear those, you get these other three and then you could do those in anywhere. Then you open the last three where at least then, even if you went through and you got Futami as the fourth route, it wouldn't be as much of ruining the game as getting him first or second. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, this is a little soon, but like, okay. Not now where you're like, the fuck? Or the fact that, again, we could have legitimately gotten Iochi's route, then purposely gone back in, or accidentally, because Lord knows, no matter what you choose, the game puts you in a random route, I feel like. Because I don't think the choices really are stacked that well. We could have ended up in Haiji's route and figured out the whole fucking plot of the game as the second route. That's stupid. That's almost as bad as this. That's worse than this. This is almost as bad as that, is what I meant to say. Anyway, other sponsors and Arcadians should feel the same way. Yeah, well, other sponsors, I really hope that's what they're trying to hint at, because that would make it better and I would feel a little vindicated. I'd be like, okay, game, I'm not mad at you anymore, and you got me. Okay. I don't think they have the stones to do it. I don't think they had the intelligence to do that, to make it more interesting, because the way this has panned out so far, with how the route order is so fucked up, I don't think they would have thought that far ahead, because they did not put a lot of thought into how this is going to play out. What if you accidentally get Futami first and you find out these sponsors? No big deal. No, that's a big deal. It's going to ruin the game for people. You don't want people to go, yeah, I don't recommend the game because... I mean, it's okay, but you can ruin things very easily, and it does take away enjoyment. It's just a factor of it, and Anyway, after a long silence, a different sound played from the display. Utami's points, they went down by 11. Huh. Seems not everyone's the same. No matter how much you're indebted to, or how much you believe in that person, you can't just throw your life away. Many Arcadians probably think that. Because if you died, then there's nothing fun you can do anymore. Huh. We're nothing but monsters after all. Arcadians and sponsors alike live for them. I assume we thought the same, but I was wrong. Utami made a twisted smile as he saw my points go up, while his went down. I don't know about the Arcadians, but Utami, This isn't the only world that you live in. You can create a place you belong to at any time. I'll help you do that. That's It's only possible because it's you. When I was longer when I was longer needed by anyone? When I was no longer needed by anyone, I assume. The one who first reached out to me was a sponsor sent by that person. I needed that person. See, a sponsor. Which, I mean, okay, not the sponsor, because I'm the sponsor, but another sponsor came out and lured you in. But is really weird that, like, hey, you should be a sponsor. I'm gonna go die now. Like, you know what I mean? I guess because we've never really delved into how they find the producer, but another sponsor came and lured you in on behalf of the producer. So it sounds like the producer is always the same person. It's never a different person. It's not like, so again, well, okay, I don't know how the first or the producer ever happened, but we're all people, but this is our data. Our bodies are back on Earth. And Iochi knows that. Yeah, I'm just really confused. Because Iochi would know who was there and who wasn't. So, like, again, there's a lot of loopholes that aren't going to be explained, I don't think. Like, Iochi has contact with the information department or whatever, the information bureau. Knows that our bodies are all there. Yeah, your real bodies are there and we're just data here. Okay. But then wouldn't you know? Because the producer is always the same person. So, like, Iochi's brother was missing. Iochi's brother's body is probably there. But, like, so wouldn't Iochi be able to know, okay, wait, these are the people that are here. And they'd go, okay, these are the body. Yeah, we have those. But wait, we've had that guy for a long time. Like, to know that the producer was there or not. Because if the producer isn't a real person, is an Arcadian or is just data or left their body a long time ago, that's why they can quote unquote reach a dead end and then come back. Because we know that we can do this, right? So, like, wouldn't someone in the information bureau, unless it's because that guy that Iochi was talking to was kind of in on it and was also, like, evil, that they would lie to Iochi, maybe? I guess. That's the only way you can look at it, because, like, there's so many things that just come up and you're like, it doesn't make any damn sense. This does not make any sense. And again, maybe it's because we're not supposed to have this information right now. So it makes less sense than if we slowly gathered and then you're like, oh, okay. And later we'll be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway. You accepted the sponsor's outreached hand, but you can't take mine? Is it bad for you to have another place to belong to? I need you, Futami. I want to be with you, so please. No. The one you want to be with is a version of me who lied to you. The one you're talking about right now is the producer's. It wasn't a lie. I interrupted Futami and yelled loudly. Even after you were exposed, you continue to be kind, Futami. If I can't return to my world, if my family and everyone forgets about me, they have. That's why nobody's missing you right now. I wouldn't mind as long as I remembered. My love for my family hasn't changed, so that's why I don't mind. You create belonging, not anyone else. Just like your kindness never changed, I'll never change too. I'll continue to love you, Futami, so please. I mean, you're 16, I feel like this is a little too much of it. It does come out awkward when we're 16 and we're claiming this and like, I mean, okay. Forget about the producer. Even the Arcadians won't live for the sake of their producer. The producer, not their wow. Rather than the producer who doesn't care if you live or if you die. I love you much more, Futami. Well, the producer doesn't love you. They're just using you. Plain and simple. I grabbed him and refused to let go. Like a child throwing a tantrum, I simply repeated that I loved him over and over. He refused to look my way unless I kept telling him that. I need you with me. Please don't go anywhere. Even if I can't be on the same level as that person yet, I'm fine with that. So please listen to my words too. I knew how pitiful I looked then. I'd be fine with things even if they ended in a failed romance. However, I couldn't allow someone I loved to follow someone who'd bring them misfortune. I wanted him to know that there was someone who deeply cared about him right here. Uh, you really are. And then a hand was placed on my back. I felt that warmth and looked up at Futami, only to see him look out into the distance. It was like he was looking for someplace far away. CG. This so does not look like Futami in this CG. I think it's because it's the side where his hair's flat, but it just doesn't look like him. Also, his face is very square. Like, why is he so square? It totally looks like it came out of a different game. Like, I think I've heard something similar in the past. Something similar? That time they were words of consolation, but that saved me. However, you aren't just saying this to console me. I'm telling you the truth. Right. Looks that way. You're such a resourceful tactician. The Arcadians enjoyed the show and gave you points. I would have said something more tactful if I thought about it beforehand. For example, you love me that much. Tommy had asked me that over and over again. He asked me the same thing previously, and I also said the same thing then. You know what would be fucking hilarious? If after we get the points, whatever, then he's like, man, I'm so glad you admitted you love me. And you're like, yeah, actually, I lied just to get your points. Peace. That's not how this game would work. But that would be great if we had bad ends, and that's what she did. It'd be like, woo! That was why I repeated it louder this time. Love you. I love you so much. Utami's shoulders shook as he laughed expressively. Never had anyone say that to me with so much energy. My vision was blocked, and everything turned black. Warm arms wrapped around me, and the only thing I could hear was a heartbeat. I mean, like, I get. Are we getting to the point where it's like, okay, the nice Futami that we know is actually like kind of the real one, but kind of deep down inside, he's got some like twisted fucked upness because of childhood trauma that the producer has basically abused and taken advantage of and kind of like brought to the surface and pulled out so that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I could go with that. I'd prefer to believe that, I guess, because like when Futami's being nice, even if he's like, no, this is my thing and I'm doing this because nobody likes me and I'm ostracized, you're like, okay, get over yourself and start thinking like a normal human being. You know, then I guess I like that a little better than like, no, I was faking the whole time, because that kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I guess I can kind of fit it into a box where I don't hate it, you know? That sound caused my own heartbeat to change. I mean, I don't hate it. It's just, I don't know if it's the weird translation issues that have been plaguing his route, because whoever did this half-assed it. Okay, his route in particular. Or if it's just like finding out you're the sponsor so far in advance kind of just ruins the game and it takes away from your route. I do definitely think that the whole "you're twisted" kind of came out of nowhere, and I feel like should have been a little sprinkled in somewhere so that when that twist happened, you were like, I should have seen that one come, instead of like, the fuck? You know? But the explanation for like, oh, kind of what happened to you as a child, and then you got over it because like your brother was there, but then your brother did the same thing to you, and it's just this repetitive cycle of being ostracized kind of pushing you over the edge, where here everyone's the same and everyone gets along, and it's like, okay, but then everybody ostracized. You know what I mean? Like, all right, okay, I could kind of, I guess, see that maybe psychologically the damage that you had was like what made you easy for the producer to manipulate. Fine. I still just think it could have been written a little bit better, but learning to deal with it. It's still kind of like, to me, but the beating sound was much faster than the previous time I heard it. Because, like, I didn't dislike Futami in the very beginning, but it's like, I don't know why the route feels slightly disappointing, and I don't know if it's the whole sponsor thing. Like, would have been a great twist, but again, too early. Your heartbeat is faster than mine. I can't help it. The first time you've come to hug me. An Aster for you. Okay, so this is the end, so alright, makes sense. Sure. The spotlight vanished and the scenery changed as if it were never there. Utami finally let go of me. But I made sure I didn't let go and held him tightly with my left hand. That was an unexpected surge of votes, but I'll notify you of the results of this match. The winner of the cast battle is Sana, although I think the whole thing was an utter failure as a debate. The viewers appear to have voted for the participant they enjoyed more. It worked as a form of entertainment, so I suppose it's fine. So what are the final points? Why can't we romance the director? I like the robot characters, and he's a kooky weirdo, and a robot, and I feel like that would have been fucking hilarious. Wait. Is one of the locked characters secretly the director controlling the director robot? Because that'd be funny. I'd be okay with that. That'd be a twist. And a reason why there's 3 locked characters that make no sense now. Then what's the final points? All right. I'll notify that as well. As the director said that, our bangles rang. It said objective complete on it. But see, I'll notify that as well. That's not how you would say that in English. I'll let you know that, or I'll notify you of that as well, or I'll send that notification. I'll notify that as well. Like, what the fuck? Ryochi Futami's points will be transferred to Sana, and your objective is hereby completed. Oh. Congratulations. Seems like it was as you planned. It wasn't really planned, and space became brighter, and I saw the gaze of everyone who'd been watching. It was Iochi who calmly spoke up. I do think it's kind of funny how they sort of tried to make this like a love triangle in a way, like Iochi being like during that whole drama scene and Ryochi and Futami, God, my brain being like, it's like they were marking their territory, and it's like they could have again that could have been done better. They could have leaned into that just a little bit more. I'll accept it, but like that would have been an interesting little. You're like that's. I mean, to be fair, that's like not the point of the game, and there's not really going to be love triangle kind of things because Tomose would always be the other end of that fucking triangle for everyone. But I do like how they kind of just a little sprinkle of that in there where you're like, huh. Doesn't make sense, but I kind of like it. Futami, are you changing who you worship to Sana now? I'm not the producer, but her. If I could change my religion that easily, I wouldn't have become this twisted in the first place. You can rest assured and keep hating me. But a cute girl said all that to you and you still haven't changed? Something sure is wrong with you, Futami. Seriously, if you're going to ignore feelings like that. But I have changed. At least I think I did. I tried to gauge what he meant by looking at Futami, but our eyes met. Okay. I tried to gauge what that meant by looking at Futami, but our eyes met. Okay. And Futami smiled at me again. However, it isn't good enough yet. You're still second place. I guess that's how it'll end up. Of course. How many years do you think I believed in that person? Much too long for you to jump past that easily. Whatever, okay. During our conversation, Ibana muttered something with disgust. Embarrassing drama with a declaration of love. Some incomprehensible fanatic talk. You're both insane if you ask me. I mean, yeah, because I do love you, you little ass. God, so great. Oh, what's the problem if they both are? That's not something we outsiders can have a say in. I thought that battle was fun, but I do think it's nice to have different interactions like this. I don't think either of you are crazy at all. Oh? So is this just as you planned then? Not exactly. May I continue? So let me ask you once more. Our conversation was interrupted by the director's usual commentary. As a reward for achieving the goal, I'll grant just one wish for you. What is your wish? Because I've achieved the goal, I can have one wish granted. Wish? You can send one person home like this. Huh? You wanted to go back, right? You want to see your friends and family, just wish for that. You can forget all about the problems here and go back to yourself. It'll be the easiest for you. Are you sure you want to send me back, Futami? Yeah. I'll go crazy if you stick around here. Futami raised his arm while I still held onto it and held it in front of me. I wondered what he was doing, and he pulled off the ring from my middle finger. If I let go of this hand, you can return home. Right, but unfortunately, my wish has already been decided. I declared it loudly so the director can hear me. Could you imagine? We're all trying to get points to bring Akase back. I'm going home, motherfucker. I did this to steal your points so I could help Akase in your stead because you weren't going to do it. I'm going to use your points to help him, but then I'm going to be like, fuck everyone, peace. That would be amazing. My wish is to revive Akase. Please use my points from this time to return Akase to normal. Very well. Then his recovery will proceed another step. Akase's just a stranger to you. Why don't you consider just leaving him behind? I'd never do that. Besides, I used your points too, Futami, so you practically cooperated as well. You forced me. Seriously, you're so... By the time we can return to our world, I know that you'll voluntarily cooperate, and you'll also apologize to Akase. You really think I'll apologize? I sure do. I'll definitely change your feelings, Futami. He didn't say anything back, but he returned to smile. That smile was the same gentle smile that he always showed me. Warm steam rises up in this dark room. I slowly mix together lemon juice and honey and pour them into hot water. I think about slicing some lemons when I hear someone next to me. So they're keeping Futami banished in... Okay. Is that lemonade? Yes. Would you like some, Futami? No, I'm fine. It's too sweet. Huh. Didn't you drink it with me last time? That time, thought it'd be awkward if we didn't drink together. I prefer coffee much more. No, really? Do you take it black? He nods, so I brew some black coffee. I listen to the dripping sounds of the coffee brewing as the mugs filled up. So quiet. Utami was at 0 points after his duel with me, so I worried for a while. Maybe it was because he was the sponsor, but there was no interference from the producer as he completed dramas safely. Utami's currently at 243 points, and we finally feel that he's in the safe zone. As for everyone else, Tomose and Dazai made progress toward our goal, causing Akase's body to resume breathing. We were overjoyed, thinking it was only a little more. But Futami, on the other hand, hasn't returned to the lodging and has remained quarantined with lookouts placed on him on rotation. We continued to keep him on watch because even though he isn't the producer, he's still a sponsor that supports the producer. See, it's not saying he's still it's a sponsor. So they keep saying this now, so it makes it sound like there may be more than one, and that would be fun. Because then it's like, you'd be, again, like me, pissed off that you found this out so early. Again, if you found it out later, if he was like the 6th character, you'd be like, alright, okay, whatever. And then you find out there's another one, then you'd be like, oh, the disappointment is because you found out so early and you're like, what? But if there's another one, it'll make it better. Still don't think they did the whole route order thing and like locking down routes and all that very well, because you should never have gotten to this point this fast. But it would be a little better, and I would forgive this, like Futami's route not being locked down, if there's actually another one. And to be fair, it would make it better, because if the sponsor is going back and forth between the real world the way they make it sound to get things, then like you would always notice, you know what I noticed? Futami's never around. Weird, So, but no one stops me from seeing Futami anymore. We no longer fight about saving up points to get Akase back to normal. It's a common goal for everyone here. In other words, we live a peaceful daily life that goes on without much change. It is kind of sad, though, here we're like, we're just stuck here forever. For a long time. But I guess they couldn't always have you happily go back to your world. Do we ever? Because, like, in Iochi's route, we had a reason to stay, and that was to free everybody, and we're hanging out here because we're fixing the data and trying to find people and, like, scrape them out. So that's why we're here. But, like, now it's like at least we have a goal. I mean, I guess I like the way they're doing it with we're stuck here, and there's at least a reason instead of, like, we're still just working to get home. Like, so far, like, with Iochi, it makes sense. They're trying to save everyone, so, okay, we got one more person to find. We've been here for a while. Cool, we're sending everyone back. With Futami, it's like, okay, we gotta make sure Akase comes back, then we'll get the points to go home. Like, I guess it feels a little better than just like, and then we were here and we still don't have enough of points to go home. I mean, I feel like that's going to happen in someone's route, but if it happens in everyone's route, it's going to be like, well, what the fuck? You know, like, I hope in some of them we actually get to go home. Oh. If you can call this a daily life, that is. I place the mug on a platform we use in place of a table, and then I watch as Futami slowly drinks his coffee. What? It looks so bitter. How about you add some milk or sugar? You add sugar to everything. I think our tongues are built differently. Maybe. Seem awfully gloomy today. We sit at the table and look out of the large window and toward the twinkling stars. However, the sky was set to cloudy today, so the cloud made the moon a bit hazy. Clouds, there isn't much moonlight because it's cloudy. How about we ask the Watcher to give us more light? Maybe. There isn't much to do at night anyway. Yeah, keep with that. All you would do is watch TV or read a book. And it's slightly better to be talking with you. Just slightly. At least say it's much better. You let it get to your head easily. I have to make sure I'm not too nice to you. Why's that? I pout a little as I sit next to Futami. I sit close enough for our shoulders to touch. Do you still prefer the producer over me? Yeah? You better get me to change my mind or Akase's recovery will come first. You're so mean. I like to keep things to myself, and I'm mean. I'm what you call an unfair adult. Futami's lips kissed my forehead as he said that. Futami's was in his dialogue box. Jesus. That's the kind of kiss you give to a child. Kissing someone's forehead is nice. What the... Don't complain. If I gave you an adult's kiss, you wouldn't make it back to the lodging. Huh? Okay, I understand. What exactly do you understand? You don't understand a thing. If I'm coming early tomorrow morning, then maybe it's okay to stay the night. No, it's not like that at all. Because I want to be with you, but us thinking differently is nothing new. I don't really care either way, as long as you don't hate me, Futami. And you don't mind whatever I do to you? Better not say something like that. Men are wolves, remember. You know, coming from him, I fully expect this kind of shit. So. Huh? I never said that. There'd be trouble if you did. Oh, really? Then I hope you'll feel troubled. You can do whatever you want with me. Girl! Seriously. He's blushing, though. That's kind of cute. I like it when they blush, even if their psycho and the route isn't done the best. You know? He sighs in an exasperated way, but his lips quickly cover my mouth. There's a CG, by the way. She actually looks really cute in this. He looks a little awkward. Her hair... so sudden that my hair gets in the way. Utami brushes it aside as he pats my head with his left hand. It's bitter. It tastes like coffee. Can't be helped. Just take it. Utami moves to kiss me deeply once more, but his right hand is tangled up with mine. He caresses me as he takes a breath. Did you notice? Huh? Put the ring back on? So you didn't notice. I mean, I could see the ring on our hand and he had taken it off, so I feel like he put it back. He grins at me, but I still feel the sensation of Futami's lips, causing me to feel dazed. Oh. I finally realize that my left hand feels off. My left hand had felt off ever since the ring was taken from my middle finger. But now my ring finger... it has the ring that Futami gave me. The ring. I adjusted it. Seems like the size is just right. Yeah, but this... I look at him and I'm a bit confused. He just responds with a smile. Isn't this what you wanted? I thought you wouldn't give it back. I could do it after going back to the other side. Should I take it back for now? No! It's mine now. I know. It's yours to keep. But this isn't enough. I want more than a ring. You really are greedy. Utami laughs quietly as he kisses me. Moon's beautiful. It's hidden behind the cloud. Wait! Oh! I finally remembered that we had a similar exchange previously. The other meaning behind this phrase. Took you long enough to remember. He's like, the moon's beautiful, and you're like, it's cloudy. Wait, that was long enough. It was literally 3 seconds, dude. Back then, you told me to be more direct, or that it'll be something you'll never experience. Well, there were times I can't be direct. One of the ways you changed me. So even if I can't have you, and even if you aren't by my side, you'll always be bright in my eyes. I'm sure that's what it means. The 2 moons that are now hidden behind the clouds begin to reveal themselves. God, there's words missing! Kissing under bright moonlight makes me feel more embarrassed, but we laugh as our shadows intertwine. So, like, we're just, okay. I mean, huh. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I want to actually see if we got. Well, wait, we were. Well, that's really weird because which one? It must have been this one. So this was the one we only had. Shit. Oh, A is variation. Yeah, okay. So this was the one. That's the one we only had one of. So, okay, that was. We did end up getting all of. You know what I mean? So we're missing a Futami one. But again, that's probably going to come up in another it did okay. You know what? This is supposed to look cute like he's holding us against his chest, but it's starting to look inappropriate. You know, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And I don't know if I'd have liked it better or felt a little better about it if we did it later. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I do feel like the twist of him being, oh, he's actually crazy, like, whatever, kind of did come out of nowhere, like, because it was really starting with this scene where, like, we stab him and you're like, he's looking like he's enjoying it, and then it just comes out that he's crazy, and it's like, I feel like they should have had maybe this scene a little bit earlier, you know, where then, like, she notices and she's like, he looked like he enjoyed it, and he pulled the knife, and that was really weird, and then, like, was thinking on it, and then maybe talked to him, and then it kind of started. Maybe it would have been better than just like, yeah, well, it's because I'm crazy. And it's like, oh, wait, you're the sponsor. You know what I mean? Like, instantly, like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I just. And I understand in the common route, you know, you don't know anything. You don't really learn much about his character because, like. But. You know, he's just. That's literally. This CG, this entire CG is literally just our hands. I feel like that's a cop-out, though, but, you know, whatever. It is pretty, though, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know. I just feel like that could have been sprinkled in a little bit sooner, maybe where you were like, wait a minute, is he crazy? And I really just don't like the idea that he's the sponsor, and he really was, and it's like, I really hope that there is... His face is very square here. He's got like a square head, but it is a cute CG. I really do hope that there is another one so that this isn't... I don't know. Again, I think the problem is we just really should not have done this route this early, and I was very desperately trying not to. I made one fucking choice that fucked up everything. And, like, I'm mad about that. I'm mad that I didn't go back and be like, no, fuck it, we're going on to Mose's route, screw that. Like, I really should have done that. Because this did not work out in our favor, and it does ruin a lot for me, like. It's alright, but I just, the enjoyment, it's taking it away. It's putting a little gloomy cloud over it, you know what I mean? So... He looks so angry here, and I can't remember when this scene was. This is, yeah, because there's Dazai popping up. This is like a really earlier one. You know what I mean? Okay, no, you can't show up. You know what I mean? But it's so funny because that's like, and there he is. You know what I mean? But honestly, the one where he's, oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I was trying to hide the text box and I hit the wrong fucking one. Like, hide his way. This is a cute CG, but I don't know. I'm trying very hard to think of it the way it is. If we were to have played this later in the game, right, where I think it should have been played, I don't think I'd have as many. I do think the whole twist of he's twisted and dark and whatever came out of fucking nowhere, and it happened all at once, and it really should have. They should have done that better. Again, the scene where we have to act with him and stab him, and then like that whole thing where it's like that's supposed to be our indication that like maybe he ain't all right. And then all of a sudden we're talking to right afterward we're talking to him, and then he's like, yeah, blah blah blah, and then the sponsor thing comes out and it's like the fuck? That was too much too soon. That should have been spread out. Like a little bit earlier in his route should have been the scene with him where we have to stab him, and then, you know, she's like, he looked like he was enjoying that, and why did he do that? And I don't understand. And like then she's thinking about it, like maybe we weren't talking to him at that time. Like we weren't out on a little date with him when that scene happened. You know what I mean? Like we did the drama. We were in a different location when we came back. You know what I mean? And then we're like, let me think about this, whatever. And then we go on a little date with him where maybe saying something about it or we bring it up and he's like, no, whatever. And then she's kind of rehashing like, yeah, something's not right with Futami. Like, what the hell? And then maybe it comes out. That I think would have been a little bit better. Like a little more suspicion, a little more like leading into it where you're like, wait, he's a little sus. Instead of like, yeah, no, he's really, what do you mean he's the sponsor? The fuck? Like, and I still would have been disappointed that we did his route as early as we did. But I think that's a problem with the game itself, not the route. The route is just the reveal and all that came out of fucking nowhere, slaps you in the face, and then you're done. And it's like, nah, they should have let into it a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like with Iochi, it was kind of like Iochi kept saying a lot of stuff and knew a lot of stuff and whatever. So by the time they said, I work for the Information Bureau, you're like, I could see that. Yeah. I wasn't thinking to myself, like, I bet Iochi works for the Information. Did I say that? I don't think I did, but when Iochi came out with that, I work for the Information Bureau, you're like, yeah, you know, you've said a lot of stuff where like, I can see where they've been leading into that, to that reveal. I don't see where they were leading into Futami, and I don't know if that's just, again, because they did it all too fast, and it should have been spread out, so bad writing in that, or because also the translation was just a little dodgy in this one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like in Iochi's route, or even in the common route, you get some things that are worded a little weird, fine, but there was just a lot worded weird, and things missing, and like, whoever did the editing and translation in Futami's route half-assed it. They did not put the effort in. Like, I feel like it's night and day. Like, why is every other line weird? Why is the phrasing awkward? And sometimes they're saying things and you're like, I just kind of tune it out as I'm reading because I'm like, none of this is making any damn sense. Because you're directly translating it and you're not like, okay, well, this is how you would say that in English, so it makes fucking sense. You know? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But, so I feel like it could have been done better. I still don't necessarily, like, I liked Futami at first. Like, he's fine. He wasn't one of my favorites, but I was like, he could be fine. Like, he'll be an okay character. I do think the twist in his route, again, would have been a little more fun later on, but, like, is interesting because you definitely kind of don't see it coming during the common route. Again, I think you should have maybe had a little suspicion as you got into his route, not a slap in the face. But taking that aside, if it had been spread out a little better or whatever, or just the twist itself, oh, that he's a little dark and twisted, it's like, okay, I can get behind that. I'm not mad about that necessarily. Yes, I'm mad about how it played out. But the point of it, I'm not mad about that necessarily, because you didn't really, like, suspect Futami, so it was like, okay, I like that. I don't want to see it coming. I want to suspect as it's going along, like, wait, something's up with you. What's going on? And then they come out and you're like, oh, okay, not what I thought, but like, you know what I mean? So again, the pacing of it and the reveal was a little done badly, but the twist itself was good because definitely did not suspect Futami at all. Okay, everyone is sus as fuck in some way or shape or form, but that's definitely not where my mind went, as we know. Again, it does take a lot of the fun out of the game, unless there's a second sponsor. So I'm going with that, hoping that the game pulls it out. And is like, you thought but there's another one. Ha ha! Okay, cool. Then I won't be as mad. But, still, I think I'm just mad at how overall the game, at this point, the game itself, the way it's structured, was done badly. Where you can just randomly fall into anything and kind of fuck up the story and the plot. It doesn't have a good flow because of the way they let you fall into it. And I feel like, because this one has a flow chart in the back, and I'm sure other games have like flow charts, you just can't access them, you know what I mean? But like Psychedelic of the Black Butterfly had a flow chart, and there were certain endings and certain things that you could not get until you unlocked other things. That was done well. Like, you can't get this ending until you've done at least this and that, and then you can go over that. You know what I mean? And I think, too, with that one, at least there was a kind of a guide, which was be like, okay, don't choose this because that's an ending you don't want to get yet. But with this one not having a route order, I think they should have done it better. Like, hey, you can't get characters 4, 5, and 6 until you've at least done 1, 2, and 3. And again, that might have been a little weird with how they divided up the teams, but then I feel like they just shouldn't have divided up the teams. You know what I mean? Maybe, or if they did, then it's like, okay, you're making choices and you're going to end up into Mosei's route whether you like it or not. And then once you've cleared, like, I mean, I guess there's really almost in a way no way to do that, because what if you went down the cleaning team each and every time? I don't know. I don't know how to fix that, but they should have done it a little bit better. Like, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know how to fix that, but I can tell you that it's broken where you're getting later routes right up off the bat, or hey, you have to at least do one person before you can unlock who the producer is and go down that route. Like, that's not right. They're locked for a reason. Keep them. And I don't know if it's you have to do at least one route or you have to do one in each one. I'm not sure how it unlocks, but it's like, I kind of feel like that you didn't think it out well enough. So I'm still on that boat. I'm never going to get off that boat of it's kind of taken some of the fun out. And I don't know if that has kind of soured me on Futami's route itself, where I can't think about it clearly and I'm just like, nah, just There were definitely good moments. We had fun doing it, don't get me wrong, but I think it was a little soured, and I don't think I can look at it as its own individual thing because of just how the flow is working out, and it's not. So the flow is definitely not working. So anyway, that being said, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Next time, I'm not doing this. We're not going into the information team and going in blind. We have just determined after now the second route, this was the bad fucking idea. Like, a terrible fucking idea. And I don't mean that as in having the full route order in front of us was a better idea. No, I get that. That's not a good idea. Because I don't want to see that. But I definitely think we should have used the Reddit list where I can see the first character, I can see the second character, and I'm only spoiling that individual character at the time. Like, let me click number 1. Spoiling that's the first character. Okay, that's fine. I'm not seeing 2 through 9 after. You know what I mean? Because I can understand seeing the later ones would ruin it. But not doing that at all has led to this where now I'm like, the route, and it takes some of the fun out and it kind of sours you a little. And I think that's a game problem. It's a problem that the game had. But to negate that going forward, I'm going to use that Reddit list next time. We're not doing the first 3 blind, because doing the first 3 blind was, look at the worst possible thing, okay? The worst possible choice that we could have done. And honestly, I can't even say that because we literally chose every. I know we also went and saw Futami all the times instead of Gyobu, whatever, because I was like, I'm like, Gyobu was no doubt in my mind the locked route. I'm not sure why now, because this kind of threw all my thoughts out of the water. But I'm still going on he's a second producer a second sponsor that Futami doesn't know about. Yeah, that'll make it more fun. I have to do that because otherwise I'm sad. But I did everything to go down Tomose's route. I picked one fucking choice, and that was like, fuck you? What the shit? So I'm mad at the game for that, because we should not have had this, and I was not going for this. It wasn't like I was randomly choosing options. We did everything we can to analyze everything and choose, and the fuck. So, whatever. That's a problem with the game. But regardless, we're going to start using the guide list because I can't ruin the game anymore. I don't wanna. I don't trust anyone in the information team to not be a huge, even more of a thing. And actually, I think you have to go down one character in each cleaning team, cooking team information before you unlock the other one. Okay, that's why we did it this way. So technically, even if we went down the information team, we can't unlock the locked route, but God fucking knows I definitely think you should have done Iochi before Futami, because I think the flow, as bad as it was for what we did, for doing Iochi, then doing Futami's route worked really well for those two characters, not for the whole game itself. But I would wager that later when we look, Iochi's route will be done before Futami's, whether Iochi is character 4 or 5. I really feel like Futami should have been like character 6 at least. But maybe they were 4 and 5 and 5 and 6. But definitely Iochi before Futami. I think the flow goes really nicely with those two, the way it worked. So that was at least a benefit here. But otherwise, not so great. But it is what it is. I've got to play our other game. It's going to be a little while before I come back to this one. I'm definitely way, 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 way far ahead, because I'm pretty sure this is in sometime in fucking December, and it's the beginning of November right now. It's literally November 2nd. Like, the only reason I finished this late is because, again, I took a week off because my mom was visiting. So, like, I'd have finished this the end of October. So, like, I'm like a month and a half ahead on this one. I'm literally, like, 2 days ahead on the other one. So, I'm fucked there. So, yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. I don't know how I feel. At the moment, I'm like, Futami's route's fine, I guess. Maybe as it settles in, it'll be better. And at the moment, I'm just a little about the game. I'm because of how it's worked out. The game itself is fine. I don't have a problem with the game. We're having fun. I like the plot and everything and the characters, and we're having fun with the game. I'm just a little soured at the moment because of the way this worked out. But I'm going to take that, throw that away, because that's a minor problem, and the game itself is fine. Okay? And we will do it better next time and kind of do it the way we should have. So the first couple of just ignore these. I don't know. Anyway, I will see you guys next time, and we'll do it right. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.